Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. See, back already. Of course, the Yankee season is over, but we do have the postseason, and I just couldn't help but notice. This is an area where there was a TV on. I really wasn't paying attention, but of course it was on ESPN, and they had the Game 1 wild card matchup between the Texas Rangers at the Tampa Bay Rays, and I couldn't help but notice a familiar face there, Jordan Montgomery, throwing an absolute gem. And I had to say, one of those situations like, are you kidding me? So he goes down there, part of a win. So Texas takes the first game there by a score of 4-0. But of course, the story is Jordan Montgomery, absolutely brilliant. Pitches 7 innings, just scatters 6 hits, 5 strikeouts. And again, they come away with a 4-0 win there. And if that's not much, the kicker there, Cashman, also with a clean 8th inning. Obviously, he lost his closer role. Still, nevertheless, got 2 former Yankees there throwing 8 innings of shutout baseball in Tampa against the Tampa Bay Rays. Again, a Yankee nemesis who they seemingly could never overcome, especially when you look back at that 2020 postseason there. So, just want to dive in a little bit. So, before we get started, make sure, again, rest of the playoffs to go, and of course, the off season. So, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Again, this rant you're hearing right now can't get anywhere else, so you have to be a podcast subscriber. Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Subscribe now. So, just want to look back at this, and again, it's just another situation of another bad deal for the Yankees. Again, what we've seen the past 2-3 seasons. Cashman's had some hits, but he's had some misses, and unfortunately, it looks like this one's a miss. Because go back to last season again, they made the trade for Jordan Montgomery to get Harrison Bader, and Bader right now is not even playing. So he got traded to the Reds, and then it hurt his groin in the middle of September, and it was determined he won't be back for the rest of the season. So we got a guy throwing a gem, giving you an ace-like performance in the postseason, and the guy who we got in return is not even playing right now. So just another gut punch for this Yankee organization. And if you look at Montgomery down the stretch, was good for Texas in his last 4 starts with a 2-0 record and an ERA of 0.67. So pitching to an ERA under 1. So just, pitching well down the stretch. Now, as for the Texas Rangers themselves, they ended up coughing up the AL West to the Houston Astros. Now, they actually both ended up with a 90-72 record, but I guess Houston had the tiebreaker there. So, even though they had the same record, Houston gets the AL West. And you kind of think that was going to happen at some point, but nevertheless, Texas made some moves at the trade deadline, and I guess they just got themselves in. And again, once you're in, anything can happen. So right now, they took the first game there, and Jordan Montgomery gets the best of Tyler Glasnow. Again, a nemesis who seemed like, again, the Yankees could never defeat, especially I remember 2020 as well. Couldn't really touch that guy in the playoffs. So just a bad look for the overall. And if you look at his whole record this season, now Montgomery started off with the St. Louis Cardinals. That's who the Yankees traded to last season. Now his record is not that overall; it's 10-11, so it's not great the record. But again, you got to combine the Texas what we was doing in St. Louis, and St. Louis is terrible this season. So I'm sure a lot of losses had to do with that. But the ERA you got to look at 3.20, so a good solid ERA there. And it's just like we had this guy, and we let him go somewhere else. And as soon as he got to St. Louis, he was great. Didn't get a good start this season. Again, a lot of that because he was on a terrible team. And then, of course, now flourishing with the Texas Rangers. We'll see how far they could carry that arm. And for Bader, gave some good moments here, but hurt a lot. And just didn't really work out. And again, once the season became bust, why not just trade him away to get something else? So, and this is got to be part of the Yankees when they, I guess when Hal's going to do this kind of evaluation of the team, had this guy, why couldn't they make him a bit better? Why is his best somewhere else? Is it the pinstripes? Is it the coaching? Hard to tell. Why he couldn't flourish here is the pressure in New York. I don't think he really felt pressured. I mean, he came up through the system, and he was kind of like a 4th or 5th starter. Really, no one was expecting much out of him, and he was all right. Now, look, at the time they made the trade, he had a couple floundering starts. One of them, I remember, against the Mets at Citi Field. They gave like 4 or 5 runs. And with the Yankees, he was basically more or less a 500 pitcher. And if you look at the season, he's about a game under 500, but he's always been a 500 pitcher. So you could understand at the time they made that deal where you have this guy where, like, all right, it's good. You don't see any ace-like performances out of him, but he was kind of a, 5-inning, maybe a little bit pitching to the 6th a little bit. That's about it. That's all he was. He never gave the Yankees great dynamic starts like that. We would have shut the other team down. But it seems like, that's who the Yankees had, and they let him go away. So would have he ever been able to do that in a Yankee uniform? It's always hard to say. Again, we've seen players leave, such as Aaron Hicks, go to Baltimore, and versus hitting 188 for the New York Yankees, hit like 100 points higher for another team. So, again, Is it the Yankee coaching? Is it the atmosphere? Why are these players doing well in other areas? As well as, look at some other pitchers, such as Sonny Gray. Again, once he bolted for the Yankees, went to Cincinnati, and now pitching for the Twins, another team that's in the playoffs. Again, doing much better than he was with the Yankees. And we've seen these players make some comments. I think a lot of that they believe the Yankee organization told them to throw too many breaking balls and just not relying on the fastball. Again, you've heard that from both Sonny Gray as well as Jordan Montgomery once they left the New York Yankee organization. Kind of like just let them pitch and be them pitch, and maybe, again, kind of go back to Aaron Judge's comments with the, over saturating these players with analytics and other things. Let's let them just do what they feel natural and just let it go from there. But no, it seems like the Yankees inundate their players with these analytics and all this other stuff, and it's messing them up. Versus just, hey, see the ball, throw it, and work your way from there versus all this other stuff. And it does seem like the Yankees are very big on breaking ball because they figure that gets a lot of swing and misses, and that's what they aim for. But apparently, it's not really the great, and it's stunting the growth of some of their players, from flourishing. And it seems like, Jordan Montgomery could be a case in point with that, as he, again, throws his gem in Tampa in a playoff situation there. So, hats off for him. Hopefully he does well there. I don't even know who I would want to win the whole thing. So, again, Baltimore, they were an AL East rival. Not really hate about them, but not really sure yet who I'd want to see win yet. But again, if you see some like Jordan Montgomery, for a Texas team, which, Texas is not really a rival for the Yankees, so if they do well and you go on to win the World Series, really, who cares? I would say I would not want to see Tampa win. I would not want to see Toronto win, that's for sure. I think I'll just break that down, bring it to your attention if you didn't catch it. Again, maybe you just totally tuned out of baseball, the Yankees, just because, maybe been tuned out for weeks just because of that. But do want to bring your attention that Jordan Montgomery did throw this good game there. 7 innings, shutout baseball in Texas. And again, just another egg on the face for Brian Cashman. So catch you next time.